Hello guys, now we're gonna talk about the skills for structure. The structure skills, that's another part of the TOEFL test, the structures. We have the structures, and as you know, this part, it could be more, even more, there could be even more skills, but we're gonna just mention them. As I told you, we're gonna make another videos explaining them. You got lower results, don't worry. We're gonna do like a post test, post diagnostics. So as you see, well, the sentence with one clause, this is the first part. So you see the skills. Be sure that sentence has subject and verb. We have to be very careful on the structures in these parts because they could be tricky. They sometimes the object or preposition could look like the subject of the sentence. Then we have the positives. Now the positives is it's talking about the same person or talking about the same noun using a phrase or something. No, but you can get confused thinking that's the subject, but it's not. Be careful of the present participles too. The present participles, they could work. Are the ones that we use next to the auxiliary have, or yes, in the present perfect or the past perfect, but they could work as adjectives too. And also, we need to be careful with the okay, one is another skill, no, the be careful of the past participles. That's the present participle. No, the present participle is the ing, the past participle is the ed, and the present participles are the ones that end with the ing. They could work as a subject, adjective word form, and then attached with the subject, and then you can get confused, no? So thinking that's the verb, or that they are verbs, but they are not verbs, they are just adjectives. Also, sentences with multiple clauses. So clauses, it's like an intermediate advanced level, no, because there could be clauses that are not so difficult. For example, the defining and the non-defining clauses. The defining and non-defining clauses, the defining, they give essential information about the class, and the other, they just making or saying extra information, no, and they can be omitted, but the defining not. So it says use coordinate connectors correctly, use adverb time and cause connectors correctly, and use other adverb connectors correctly. So these are basically the sentence with multiple clauses. That's why they have a higher rate of difficulty. And then we still more sentences with multiple clauses. This, I think, in English, these are like deep structures or deeper structures. Like, it's not like the beginner levels that you said. The cat is small. The house is blue. No, this is like, he told me that he has gone to whatever, but thinking about what he said the last time. So they're making like longer and longer sentences. You see, so that's why they are very complex. Then we have the next one says more sentences with multiple clauses. We have the same use noun clause connectors currently. Use noun clause connectors with subject correctly. Use adjective clause connectors correctly, and use adjective clause connectors subjects correctly. So there are too many, so we can get confused. The best thing is to identify. Here, my best advice to all of you that are trying to do this structured things: focus on the subject. Identify the main verb of the sentence. Identify which is the tense that you're describing in the sentence. In English, you don't need just to focus on one word. You need to look through the context, no? So that's what you need to do. And well, after looking through the context, it could be or could find many different options, no, that we can think that are the best ones. So that's why we normally have difficulties in this part. And then the next part, the next skills are sentence with reduced clauses. Yes, you can reduce them. Actually, there's not part of the direct object, so we need to look to what's a direct object. Okay, so now I'm gonna continue to the next. Here you go. Sentence with reduced clauses means that you can remove the relative pronoun. Use reduce adjective clause correctly. Use reduce adverb clauses correctly. And then we still with inverted subjects and verbs. That's another skill. Oh, this could be really, really tricky. Um, when you are doing this type of exercises, you probably write it down like the syntax no of the affirmative or negative no that you collocate in that the first is the subject, then it's the verb no, so we are getting, or we get used to write like that, okay, but in this case we invert them no, so we have here this sentence with inverted subjects and verbs, invert the subject and verb with question words. When you have an indirect question or abandoned questions, you will see why I'm telling you this. Invert the subject and verb with place. Then also invert the subject and verb with negatives. Invert those others. I have a typo here. Yes, I'm gonna correct it. There's a typo. The subject and verb with conditionals. Invert the subject and verb with comparisons. Okay, so as you see, there are like many. And also another skills are the problems with subject verb agreement. That's something really typical, especially when we're describing collective nouns. You know, the collective nouns are really tricky because we probably think that it's a singular in the case of children, in the case of people, in the case of geese, no? That's goose, no? The plural of goose. You don't say gooses, you say geese. You don't say mouses, you say mice, you see? These are the collective nouns. And then we have problems with subject-verb agreement. Make verbs agree with other prepositional phrases. Well, it's another topic that's a little bit complicated. So this, you see, there are many skills which are for A1, A2, and there are others like our B2 plus. No, make verbs agree after expression of quantity. Make inverted verbs agree. Make verbs agree after certain words. And we continue with parallel structures. Parallel structures, it's something that I always tell to my students, that you, for example, are describing or talking in simple present, then you have to answer in simple present. Do you like oranges? Yes, I do. Do you like apples? Yes, I do, or no, I don't. So get that on mind. You will be safe for committing mistakes. But committing mistake is not wrong. I mean that you can easily identify the subjects or the tenses. It will help you a lot for getting a better score. In this case, is to get a score. For example, to move abroad in a university, means in abroad, they require you to get 550 points. I'm gonna explain the score, how to get the scores. And then problems with parallel structures. You see here, skill 24, use parallel structure with coordinate conjunctions. 25th, it's use parallel structure with pair conjunctions, and use parallel structure with comparisons. And we still problems with comparatives. Problems with comparatives. Let's see the problems with comparatives. As you see, there are even more skills. You will find out that there are even more skills than the listening. And there you go. Problems with comparison superlatives form. Comparison superlatives correctly. Use comparatives and superlatives correctly. We have here the forms that have the ER and the EST, and adding the article down. The superlatives are the ones that says the biggest, largest. And the comparatives, as I mentioned, the name says, no, you compare one thing to another one. For example, if you ask me, Huawei phones are better, and also we are not including the regular adjective forms, no, are better than iPhones, no. The cell phone or the Huawei is faster than iPhone. And continue. Problems with form of the verb be. Oh, the verb be, it's one of the basics verbs that we need to learn when we are learning. When we are in the process of learning languages. No, I think in all languages we start with the verb to be, but in the different languages. Here you go. Problems with the verb to be. After have, use the past participle. After be, use the present participle or the past participle. This means that present continuous. After will, we're gonna use would or other modals. Use the base form of the verb. And then the next part is problems with the use of verb. Then we have the problems of the use of verb. are these skills. Okay, there's problems with the use of verb. We have know when to use the past with the present, use the have and have correctly, use the correct tense with the time expressions, use the correct tense with will and would, no? And yeah, we can go on. Guys, I would really appreciate you comment on my videos. Tell me what would you like to see, or tell me what you feel. How did you feel doing this type of test? Do you feel afraid, or you feel confident doing them? I mean, that you like to measure your English, or you feel like frustrated, or you feel, it's doing exams. Many people get like astonished or get afraid of doing exams and doing tests. This is just a mock exam, but it's simulated to be like a real one. Then we have pronouns with passive verbs. Actually, I love this part of teaching languages. The passive voice is one of the tenses that I love the most. Use the correct form in the passive, recognizing active and passive meanings. No, so the passive voice is when the doer, the action becomes. And as I was saying, we have here to recognize the passive voice. And it's actually one of the topics that I like in all languages. And well, we're going to continue problems with nouns. As problems with nouns, we found problems with nouns. We have the next ones is use the correct singular or plural noun, distinguish countable and countable nouns, recognize irregular plurals or of nouns, distinguish the person from the thing. And these irregular plurals are the collective nouns, as I was explaining, no? So people, mice, geese, women, men. The pronunciation is different. It's not woman, it's women. That's referring about plural. So women are beautiful. Then problems with other pronouns. Now we're gonna have distinguished subject and object pronouns. 5 other types. These are even more, as you can see, skills. There are even more skills. And well, you know that grammar, it's like quite complex compared to the rest of the skills, because it explains almost a language. Not the structure of a language is like really complex. But listening in English, it's I think it's one of the most difficult skills, because English is not phonological language as Spanish or Turkish. No, there's a different pronunciation, and we need to like be really aware of. And then pronouns with pronouns, we have distinguished subject and object pronouns, distinguished possessive adjectives and pronouns, check pronoun, reference for agreement. You see still the word agreement. And those agreements you need to be really careful of it. Then we continue. The next skills are these ones. Pronouns with adjectives and adverbs. Use basic adjectives and adverbs correctly. Use adjectives after linking verbs. Position adjectives and adverbs correctly. And we continue with recognize ly adjectives. It's not necessary that ly means the ending of the suffixes ending with ly means like adverbs. Not necessary. Then we use predicate adjectives correctly and use ed and ing adjectives correctly. So it's the present participle and the past participle working as adjectives. Then another skill are the pronouns with articles. Even though they're using the a or and, we probably master know that we use a after consonants, and we use and before vowels, no? So it's like something simple, but we have other articles too, using the correct ones after singular nouns, and make articles agree with nouns and distinguish specific and general ideas too. So we use the article the, or when do you use or and, determinate article. Yeah. And we're almost finished explaining the different types of skills and structure. Then other problem is the pronoun, well, the prepositions, no? Problems with prepositions, recognize incorrect prepositions, recognize when prepositions have been omitted. I have for, before, prepositions, they have the function to even tell where is an object, not to give location, no directions. We use the prepositions not to locate objects or their preposition of movement. Okay, and finally, problems with the usage. Problems with the usage are the verbs, mainly the verbs. This These are the last skills. As you see, we got 60 again. So listening, they were just they were less, I guess. No, well, of course they were less, but they were like 40, I guess. This thing which make and do, no? So make and do. It's the, well, in Spanish, if you study Spanish, it means the same, but that make is one to create, and the other is like the action of, yeah, taking or making, not just using the same word, not making for doing. No, even it's like a little bit confusing, but making is when you create something. Doing is the action of, I don't want to use the word doing, no, but it's the main action. What is that? What is the verb? No, what is the standing the verb doing? No, like for example, I do my homework. I do exercise. No, it involucrates like an activity of yourself, and the other just creates something. I make. Well, I could make a meal. I could make new friends. Right. I don't do friends. No, I make friends. You see. And then we have distinguished like, alike, or an unlike. No, so it's like, it could work also as preposition to, and it could work as a verb. Like for example, like apples. I like bananas. I like going camping. So, or he's like his father. No, he's like his father. So this has a different meaning. No, so like acting like a preposition. Now we are comparing as well with like, alike or like. No, it's like the opposite. You will see later a better explanation, like, alike, and alike. Then the last one, distinguish other, another, and others. So that it about the structure, guys. I hope that you like this video. This is just like, as I mentioned, it is general, but we're gonna focus on next videos defining the different types of skills. This is just to make you like aware of, and then I will show you the different skills. I mean, which exercise represents the skill. No, so I will post them on the Schoology account. You'll find out the worksheet that says what number represents what thing in one and another, right? But I will like you to check it after doing the exam. Okay, after finishing the exam, then you check out this feedback. Meanwhile, I suggest you to, well, I suggest you not to watch these videos. So this is after watching or doing your exercise, your mock exam. So then you will be free to do it. Okay, so I wish you to have a very nice day. Take care and see you soon in the next videos.